An already slow August came to a screeching halt at the US box office where no major new releases were unveiled. That allowed the Samuel L. Jackson-Ryan Reynolds action comedy The Hitman's Bodyguard to stay at the top spot for the second week with an estimated $10.1 million in ticket sales. But the entire slate of films grossed only about $65 million in North America, and the top 12 films generated just $49.6 million. There have been similarly slow weekends in recent years, including early September in 2014 and in 2016. But not since September 2001 have the numbers been quite so dreadful. Mid-August through early September is historically the sleepiest time of the year for the movie business, but it's been especially so this year. This August is down 35% from last year, according to ComScore. Next week is expected to be just as bad, with no new wide releases scheduled for Labor Day weekend. For many, the weekend's top entertainment option was Saturday night's bout between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. The Fathom Events simulcast of the fight was one of the more popular offerings in cinemas, taking in $2.4 million from 481 screens. But the bigger problem was the dearth of significant releases. The six major studios have released only two new wider-release films this August: Sony's poorly received Stephen King adaptation The Dark Tower and Warner Bros.' successful horror spin-off sequel Annabelle Creation. The latter came in second this weekend with $7.4 million, bringing its three-week total to $77.9 million. The Weinstein Company's animated release Leap was one of the few new films to hit theaters. It earned a scant $5 million, according to studio estimates, on Sunday. Anthony LaPaglia in Annabelle Creation, which came in second this weekend at the US box office, photographed Justin Lubin. It's a black eye for Hollywood, but not a knockout punch, said Paul Degarabedian, senior media analyst for ComScore. Make no mistake about it, there was little foot traffic in theaters this weekend. But the storyline will change in 2 weeks when it opens. That second recent King adaptation is the only light on the horizon for cinemas, which are struggling through the lowest grossing summer in years. ComScore estimates that this will be the first summer in a decade not to cross $4 billion in domestic ticket sales. The summer as a whole is running 14% behind last year, with the deadly quiet August a big reason for this. Hurricane Harvey had a minimal effect on nationwide grosses. Instead, mediocre offerings were largely to blame. The Bruce Lee homage Birth of the Dragon opened with $2.5 million in 1,618 cinemas for BH Tilt and WWE Studios, while the low-budget Sony film All Saints took in $1.6 million from 846 cinemas. One of the few bright spots over the weekend was the expansion of the Weinstein Company's Wind River, Taylor Sheridan's thriller set on an Indian reservation in Wyoming. The Jeremy Renner film expanded to 2,095 cinemas and earned $4.1 million in its fourth weekend. Steven Soderbergh's heist comedy Logan Lucky also held well in its second week, taking in $4.4 million. The film's $15 million 12-week total, though, isn't the movie industry game-changer its makers hoped it would be. With so little action, Warner Bros. Put one of the summer's biggest hits, Wonder Woman, back into theaters ahead of its home entertainment release. It added $1.7 million, or about 3 times what the 3D restoration of James Cameron's Terminator 2 Judgment Day made in 563 locations. Cameron was much criticized last week for comments he made about the feminist credentials of Wonder Woman.